is from @KylieR McKinnon, and she says, I want to hear his story leading up to the proposal, day of, surprising you, etc. And listen, I'm excited to hear this question too. So, go for it.
Oh man, okay.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Reggie.
And welcome back to our channel.
You are now tuned into Food for the Soul. At this point, y'all, as you can see from that clip, we are talking about how Taylor and I ended up engaged.
Yes.
So, I guess I'll start from, the beginning of where this all happened. So as you guys have probably seen from our last video, if not, we'll link it down below. Make sure you check it out. But in our last video, we kind of talked about one of the things that we like to do together as we like to date when we, hang out and spend time together. We like to go on picnics.
We love it.
And it's kind of just been our thing. And so it all started, y'all, at our second picnic. That was like the catalyst for this whole process. That was when I knew that, okay, it's time.
He's skipping a very important part of that day. If you want to.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, she's right. Before that, before the picnic even happened, the picnic was a catalyst. But before that, we had gone ring shopping, y'all. So we had made like a bit of a weekend out of it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
We went to like 3 different stores.
Yes.
And it wasn't until we got to the last store that we ended up finding the ring that she wanted. Now that whole thing was a process in itself, honestly. It was really, it's an intimate thing, right? You have to find the right one. And so
right.
We didn't want to cut corners, or we didn't want to settle. I wanted to make sure that she had something that she was going to feel comfortable wearing for, however long, until we upgrade her to a headlight.
Ooh.
Yeah. But anyway, so we are going to all these different places. The first place we went to, not to bash them or anything, but we just really felt like they were trying to, you walk in and you can tell they're trying to sell you something.
Absolutely.
And, that whole vibe, it turned me off.
Yeah, it didn't make me feel comfortable, to look around freely and shop. I could tell by the way that they were working with us that we were leaving with something. Yeah. And, that's just not a comfortable feeling for me, so. Yeah,
and same here. Like
beautiful rings there, though.
Definitely. They had very, very good quality rings, very beautiful rings. Nothing like that. Nothing to knock them for that, but the experience for my taste, when I like to shop, I like to just find what I want. Say, hey, can you show me this one? Boom. That's it. That's what I want. But I understand they have a job to do. But needless to say, we leave out of that second place. The first place we didn't really.
Not really.
Yeah, there wasn't really much going on there.
That was just the first place we went into, so it was all of it. The whole day was just the excitement of, thinking of the future that we could have, and it's just fun, as a woman, it's really exciting to get to do something like that. And I was so thankful that Reggie wanted to bring me along to even try them on. So while we didn't find anything in the first store, it was still cool. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, she's coming along because I need to see what she likes and what she doesn't, because honestly, she's not a picky person. She's not like materialistic or anything like that, but she had a specific style of ring that she wanted before we even went ring shopping. I
thought.
Yeah, she really was a fan of the pear-shaped diamond, and that was just, every time we looked, she's like, oh yeah, that one's nice, and I would wear it, but I really like this one. And so when we actually went ring shopping, she didn't like any of them.
Well, really? I don't know, like when I would, be on Pinterest or on Instagram and I would see rings, I would see the prettiest pear-shaped rings, and so I guess in my head that was like the ring shape. but I'd never tried on rings before. So when we went and I was trying on these pear shapes, because we didn't even hesitate to tell them that that's what we were looking for. I was just kind of, you know, it didn't have the feeling that I was looking to have when I tried it on. So I am all about picking what looks best, and if that didn't look right, I was just gonna keep trying on rings until I found what did.
Yeah, pretty much, y'all. So then we made it to our last destination, which was Helzberg Diamonds. Big shout out to them, because honestly they gave us the best shopping experience, and that's where we found the ring that she walked away with.
Yes.
Or I walked away with. She didn't even know.
Unbeknownst to me, I had no clue, and I was shook.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll tell that story real quick, because it's a good one in my
yeah,
opinion.
I think it's worth telling.
They did everything the right way from, you know.
Wait, pause. I just want to say, this day that we went ring shopping, I thought we were just going ring shopping. You know, Reggie and I, we talk about marriage all the time. From before we started dating to at the beginning, like, that's never been an awkward topic for us, and it's something that we both have known that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So ring shopping was kind of the first thing I felt like we were doing to, you know, go in that direction. However, I thought that's just all it was. Like, I had no clue that Reggie would be leaving that day with a ring in his pocket.
Oh yeah, look, for me, I mean, she doesn't know this, but I wouldn't have even gone ring shopping if I hadn't saved up the money ahead of time.
So if we were driving down the street and I saw a jewelry store, I was like, let's just go try some on.
Well, I mean, if that's what you wanted to do, I would have done it. But I wasn't going to propose it. Like, I had proposed the idea of ring shopping. At that point, I had already, like, saved up enough money, and so I was like, I mean, let's just go ahead and do it.
Casually.
Just see what's out there.
Plans it.
Yeah, I mean, for me. So that was my mentality. So we get to the Helzberg Diamonds, and great experience. I think the thing that stood out was that we got the chance to just shop and look around and find the ring that she wanted. And it's funny because, like I said, she's not materialistic or anything, and you even said that you didn't want to come up this way.
Yes, let me insert this here. So in ring shopping, or just anything that we're doing together where Reggie is going to pick something out for me, I don't ever want to say something like, oh, it has to be this one, or this is it, I love this one, this is my favorite, because I wanted him to have the freedom, you know, to just know what I like, while not, you know, feeling like, oh, I have to get this one because she said that's the one. So I was trying to be, you know, very intentional about that. And honestly, when I tried this ring on that he ended up getting, it just slipped out, you guys. I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful, this is the one. And as soon as I said it, I was like, Taylor, we've been over this, no.
But no, honestly, that's what I wanted to hear, because, you know, I don't want her to walk out with like a second rate, you know, second choice ring, you know what I mean? And she'd always be thinking, oh, but that other one was so
whatever
beautiful.
He would have given me, I would have thought, you know, this is the best thing on earth. So while he wants to pick something that I specifically loved, I would have loved anything because it came from him.
Fair enough, fair enough. So boom, she lets that slip out, and
oh my gosh.
So I'm like, okay, I mean, we're kind of communicating with the store associate, and then out of nowhere, I don't know if they had some sort of hand signals.
They've got this down to a
whatever
science,
they were
you
doing,
guys.
They, you know, hooty hoo. I don't know what they did.
They definitely didn't do any hooty hoo.
But anyway, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this other associate comes around and swoops Taylor to the other side of the store,
talking to me about wedding bands. So I was like, oh yeah, I haven't tried those on at all.
Yeah, so she made a whole thing out of it, while me and the other associate are talking business. Like, okay, yeah, you know, this is gonna be the one. My brother was with us, so he was like sitting there next to me, kind of like, yeah, I mean, if she wants it, you know, that's what she should get. So so I was like, hey, all right, let's do it.
Shout out to Saul.
Yeah, shout out to Saul. Y'all go follow him at Saul Knows on Twitter and Instagram. I'll put it down below. Actually, I'll put it right there.
No,
here.
No, right here.
Okay. But anyway, So yeah, he confirmed it. Taylor already picked it out, so boom. I mean, I don't have anything else to do now. So I told him, yeah, that's what we want to do, and he's all right. So what we're going to do is, so you can walk out of the store with something, we're going to go ahead and ring you up and put your information in the system. But I'm gonna give you a necklace to walk out of the store with. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, that way, you know, if she sees you at the register or anything like that, you can give her this, you know, so she can, like, to distract her from what you actually bought. And honestly, it was genius because I wouldn't have thought of that, but it worked out great.
Also, I did see Reggie at the counter. Like, even though I was talking to the girl, like, I was looking around and I saw Reggie there, but in my mind, I thought the guy was like, just let me have your information so he could, like, hound Reggie for the next however long to come back and get this ring. Like, I had no clue that he was purchasing anything.
Oh yeah, I absolutely was going to get it that day, because the last thing I wanted to do was have her say this is the one, and I'm like, okay, I'll come back and get it, and then it's gone. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I gotta act now. So that's kind of my mentality. Wanted to make sure she had everything she needed, so we made it happen. And I gave her the necklace afterwards, and I had to play it cool. Like,
you had like this whole speech, you guys.
Yeah, I really just had to come up with it off the cuff, because I really wasn't thinking about it. I was like, you know, babe, you know, I wish I could give you more. I wish I could have bought the ring for you right now, but you know, I'm still working on saving up in my finances and everything. But you know, I didn't want you to walk away empty-handed, so I got you this necklace. And boom.
And you guys, needless to say, I melted in the mall. So Reggie, no one has ever done anything like that for me before. Like, I've never been given anything like that, and I was just so excited to experience that with Reggie, like going ring shopping and, you know, just getting to think about the future together. That was already just made my year. So the fact that he was giving me a ring, you guys, I was just blown away. It was so sweet.
And she was on cloud nine.
Yes,
so
I was.
much that she bought us all Starbucks after that. I said, bet, because my pocket's a little light right now. She didn't even know.
I had no clue, but I was just like, here, let me get everybody Starbucks. Like,
oh man, yeah, for real.
That was a really fun day.
But it was. And so then we fast forward to the picnic that evening, and that was super dope. You know, we had such great conversation.
Talked about things we've never talked about before.
For real. I mean, we got very deep. We were praying together, just under the stars. It was pretty late at night. Well, we got out there at 8.
Didn't leave until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was late, y'all. And I mean, we got ate up all night by those mosquitoes.
So many mosquitoes, and we were having so much fun out there that we did not care.
No.
Like, I think that we could have stayed the whole night out there until we realized, like, oh gosh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, we should probably get back. So
yeah, we were there from 8 to 1, y'all. And
it is like life-changing conversation, though. Just things that, you know, we were talking about kind of was just a lot of confirmation, I think, for both of us.
Yeah, so imagine after that, you know, ring shopping and that conversation we had that night. For me, I'm like, I mean, I gotta make this happen, like ASAP. You know what I mean? Excuse me. But you know me, I'm a planner, so I have to, you know, I gotta map things out and make sure everything's ship shape before I act on it. So, you know, we had talked about having another picnic, and she's like, yeah, why don't we just do it like in a week or two? And
I was like, why wait? Come on.
I was like, babe, you know, the last 2 picnics we had were like a month apart, you know, and I feel like that month, that space in between, like, helped build the anticipation for the next one. So I think we should push it out to like a month later, so we can, you know, just have that anticipation and really get to enjoy it. And
so I said okay. I said okay to that, but what I was really thinking was, this is weird. Like, why do we need a month to plan a picnic when we already have a basket? We have this space. It's here at the apartment complex. Like, okay.
Be that as it may, I mean, she went along with it, and I understand that it probably could have tipped her off a bit, but I needed time to plan this out because I had 0 planned at this point, and I would, I wanted to make sure everything was right, and I needed every ounce of time to get this to work. Even though everything fell in place so perfectly, I mean, any shorter time, I would have missed something, or it wouldn't have been as significant as an event. She would have still appreciated it, I know, but I want to give her the best experience possible, and so I needed a month to do that. So leading up to the proposal, there are so many things. I'm like, okay, we need to figure out, just coordinating where we're going to do it. She had talked about, like, I guess we already knew where, but I knew that she wanted to have the event recorded and everything like that. I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this without her knowing, what's going on? If I have, asking, like, somebody to hide in the bushes, like, my frat brother, our friend Rob, he lives in the same complex. Like, she sees Rob in the bushes.
If I saw Rob in the bushes, I'd be like, all right, what's happening? What's going on?
She would know. And so I was like, okay, that's not an option. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just hide this thing in plain sight. So I hired a photographer. And if you're at UNT, you know who I'm talking about. We hired Soba.
Shout out to Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel held it down for us for real. I mean, he was so professional throughout the whole thing. And I had seen plenty of his work before, because, just back at school, and he actually did.
He did my graduation pictures, and his work is just like the highest quality, best pictures. You would never be disappointed with him.
For real. And he's even come a long way from where he started. I remember when he was taking pictures out of the apartment at Midtown. He was roommates with some of my frat brothers, and that's how I met him. But even those were really good photos. Like, they turned out really great. And just where he's come now, I mean, he's really talented, and we appreciate everything that he did for us, because we loved him immediately, and we knew they were going to be fire. But when we saw him, we were like, this man is cold. I'm telling you, he's cold. So anyway, I let him in on it. I hit him up and told him what I was trying to do, and he was very congratulatory and very willing to help us out with the situation. And so, from that point, I'm like, okay, I got that checked off. So I had to let Taylor know, like I said, hide it in plain sight, because obviously with a professional photographer, like, you just have to do that. So I let her know, like, this was like a week in advance. Told her what's going on, and then thankfully she brings up the idea of getting her nails done.
Which back again. When he tells me about these pictures, I'm sure you all are thinking, like, okay, he tells her the pictures, what does she think is happening? So, lucky for Reggie, we love taking pictures. Like, we love it. And so we'd gone to these picnics before and tried to get pictures together, and the quality just was not good. Right. We weren't able to take them together. So when he suggested having the photographer there, again, I said, but I also said, wow, great idea. Like, this is so cool. And I was so touched that, this is just a random day. I mean, we're going on a picnic, but I could just tell that Reggie was trying to make this day special for what I didn't know at the time, or I didn't want to assume.
Yeah.
So I was just really it's like, man, this guy here that I have.
She's a special girl, so we just had to make sure that, it was a special moment,
Yeah.
So.
That's so sweet, babe.
Well, yeah, it is.
This guy.
But anyway, so we got the photographer booked. She gets her nails done, thank the Lord, because she hadn't had her nails done in a long time.
Like a year.
Yeah.
So my reasoning for that is, okay, if he's taking out the time to get a photographer, I'm not having crusty, dusty nails in professional pictures. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Won't do it. So I was glad that he let me know that, because if you would have told me to go get my nails done,
I mean, because your favorite picture is the one where it's a close-up
Yes.
of your hand and everything else is blurred out.
Yes,
So
seriously.
if she'd had like plain Jane nails, she would not have been. She wouldn't even wanted to take that pose, honestly. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so thankfully we got that taken care of, and then I guess the last thing was like the actual shoot and the actual picnic. But at that point, she kind of started taking over and like did the decoration.
Right.
She had, you know, she's like, let's pick out some flowers. I'm like,
So I'm
"That's
like,
a
we're
great-"
gonna take pictures.
I was like, that's a
let's
great
get the
idea.
aesthetics going, you know?
For
Like,
real.
let's make this look beautiful.
I was like, you were right. Like, yeah, let's get some flowers. Yeah, that'd be perfect. And like, she decorated her own engagement photo. She didn't even know. So, you know, that was dope. And we get there, Daniel, you know, he's ready to go. And I told him like how I kind of wanted to do things. And I gave him a cue about when I wanted to actually pop the question. And when the situation arose, I didn't follow the cue. It was just because I didn't feel like it was the right time. I didn't feel like the situation was perfect yet. So I was like, well, okay, we'll make it work.
Okay, let us in on your thoughts for a second. Like, before you went and got the ring and everything, what were you thinking?
Before I went and got the ring,
Like, when you're
At
trying
the-
to figure out how to do this, what were you thinking in that time? Were you
Well,
nervous?
I'm a perfectionist, so I felt like it has to be the perfect moment. I don't want anything to be off or awkward. I want everything to flow because everything to that point had been flowing so perfectly. So I was like, okay, I eventually had to wait for a time where she's getting photos taken by herself, and I saw my opportunity. Boom, I took it, got the ring, which I had the ring in a case that is in the shape of a rose. Here, let me show y'all real quick.
Yes.
So, you know, throughout our dating history, I've given her these roses. They're real roses, and they are dipped in gold.
So beautiful. I love them, and I will cherish them forever.
Yeah, she's got a little bouquet going right now, and that's kind of the goal. And so as I'm shopping for ring cases after I bought the ring, because the case was very basic, I was like, I want to get her something unique, and I'm scrolling and I see one in the shape of a rose, y'all. I said, that's the one.
How could that not be more perfect?
That was absolutely perfect. And this is when I asked her what color of rose she wanted next, because I told her I wanted to get her a bouquet of them, she said like something silver. I was like, this is perfect.
And I mean, you guys, he gives me these roses on special occasions like my birthday, Valentine's Day, our anniversary. So they all hold such a special place in my heart.
And they're all
so when he
different
pulled
colors.
this out, I was like, oh my gosh, like this, he's just the best. Why is he getting me this rose on just a random day? Again, another big, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Gesture?
A huge gesture of love.
Yes. So at that point, you know, when I bring this out, I don't care what she thinks or what she's assuming right now, because, you know, I'm about to pop the question now. So I'm, you know, it's telling her, you know, it's a token of my love.
And he was shaking.
I was twirling it like this. I wasn't shaking, but it's okay. But it's so player, right? It opens up like that.
Shook.
But I so player like.
And honestly, right before he opened it, there is like a little separation right here that I saw, because he was like, something's a little different about this rose. And so whenever he opened it, I was like, what?
Yeah. So she was shook, and I was like, yeah, I won. Everything, like at that point, I can take a sigh of relief.
Yes.
And you know, I think it was funny because the first thing she said was, as I'm like, I get down on one knee, she's like, no. And I'm like, your line is yes.
Listen, I said no and what so many times in 1 minute, because I was shocked, you guys. Like, I was shocked.
I'm like, Taylor, you're messing up your lines here. Cut. Can we take this from the top, please?
And the thing is that yes, it had crossed my mind that Reggie might be proposing this day, but because he had taken the time out to plan all of this out, like the picnic, the photographer, he had told me he had a surprise for me there, and he had also like planned a really special dinner for us that afternoon, which I knew about prior to. So I knew, I was like, okay, Reggie has taken the time and the details, the effort, and just the amazingness to plan out this beautiful day for us. I don't want my expectations of, or not expectations, but like the idea that he might be proposing to put any kind of damper if he doesn't, because I just wanted to be grateful and enjoy the experience that he laid out for us.
Yeah, so she was surprised, I'm sure relieved and everything.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much the story. After that, Daniel, he comes up to us and he's like, bro, I was so nervous because when you told me when you were going to do it and you didn't do it, and he was over there.
Like, he had to go take a break and he was sweating.
Like, it was hot out there too, so I mean, he was really in the trenches for us. I mean, he had bent down to get all the perfect angles, and then just everything turned out so perfect. People on social media ended up really liking the photos as well.
We'll put some up here so you guys can see.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, everything was so great. So again, shout out to Daniel.
Shout out.
Y'all go follow Soba Pictures.
And we'll make sure to leave all of his information below as well.
Facts. But yeah, it was a all in all, I think it was a great moment for us, and we had the music playing. I think We Belong Together actually was playing at the time of the actual proposal.
It was.
So that was pretty dope. Daniel was able to capture that on video. I don't think we're gonna show the video at all, but that's kind of for our personal archives. But yeah, it was just
it was a magical day, a blessing. Seriously,
it was.
Haven't stopped smelling since.
For real. So that's the story, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all got a little deeper peek into the story of us ending up together. I love this woman so much, y'all.
Aww, I love him too, and we're so glad that we got to share this story with you guys. There's going to be so many more wedding related videos to come. We just have a lot prepared and planned, so we're excited to share that with you guys, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you all. So don't forget, subscribe to Food for the Soul. Give us some information, whatever you want to know, any topics you want to hear us talk about, just go ahead and drop a comment.
Please. Leave any prayer requests. We would love to pray for you guys and have, the community that we're trying to build pray for you as well. Like you said, if you have anything that you want to see from us specifically, please let us know.
Again, thank you all so much, and we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Boom! Diggity!